Previously on Love Where You Live with Mint Construction.
We're in our downtown duplex on the north end of Harrisonburg. This is the perfect opportunity in these otherwise identical kitchens to kind of test it out and see which one actually turns out the best.
We thought it would be fun to do like a designer versus a contractor who could come up with the better design.
And I imagine when we get to the end, we'll very much want to hear what other people's opinion are of this as well. And we're done with our downtown duplex. We're upstairs in the kitchen that I designed. This is a gray kitchen. It has a very neutral granite countertop. I chose stainless steel bar pulls for the cabinets. And I have this white arabesque ceramic tile that's on the backsplash with white grout that adds a little bit more dimension. We were fortunate in this kitchen to have enough space to put a small island in. It doesn't have sitting space at it, but it should give a lot of workspace, and it makes the kitchen feel a lot more spacious and larger. I have these two kind of retro looking pendant lights that I thought fit with the age of the house and added a bit more character. Kate ended up going with just one pendant light that's a bit different, but I thought this...
You can't give it all away.
Okay.
Don't ruin my surprises.
I was worried that it might be a little bit bland. I wanted timeless and neutral, but not necessarily boring. I think the backsplash really helped set that off a bit. And having the actual range hood up here as opposed to a microwave over the range, I feel like adds a lot of look to it. It might be somewhat less functional because you don't get that extra storage and functional space with the microwave and a cabinet over it, but I love the look of the stainless steel range hood.
Because it's so neutral, then people can put any of their own decorations in and make it their own without having to stick to one color scheme. Also with this duplex, we wanted to add a little bit of contrast, so we decided to paint all the doors black. So if you look through, a way to give interest without actually having a lot of stuff on the walls. Are you ready to go down and show everybody my kitchen, the one that I designed?
Yeah, let's go see
it. Let's go. And now we're down in the kitchen that I designed. I went with kind of opposite, so I wanted to do black on the bottom and white on the top to kind of fit with the theme of the house. The house was built in early 1900s, so I wanted something kind of retro with it. So I went with the black and white, as well as how the house outside is black and white. And the black and white granite. And then I really thought that the brass pulls made a really big difference on here, really gave it some flair and some style versus the traditional chrome or brushed nickel that you see often. And I know originally when we were doing the backsplash in our previous video, we talked about how I was going to use some black and white tiles, but when we went to actually install, it just didn't really fit right and look good. So we ended up going with just the standard subway tile, which I think ended up being a better option in the long run without being too crazy. And just like Matt's downstairs, since the kitchens are designed exactly the same, island in the middle, we ended up using the same granites, but I feel like even though they're the same granite, it doesn't feel the same because they're just two totally different kitchens. And then to keep in theme with more retro, I wanted to go with this vintage schoolhouse lamp with the milk glass and everything, and someone thought that it would be too small, but I think he's been proven wrong.
It's a nice fixture. No, my concern was just it's very unique, and someday if you have to replace it, I think it's kind of tough to find something that's very similar. That's why I went with two more normal pendant lights.
I feel like that's our personalities. I'll be extra and you can be safe and traditional. And I definitely like how your kitchen turned out. I like how bright and airy it is. It feels just very welcoming.
The gray kitchen suits my personality in that I have some trouble committing to anything that tends to be more extreme or specific because I don't want to regret it in the future. So I go with things that are timeless. I go gray cabinets, neutral granite. There's no way that I could regret this a year from now. And then try to spice it up with decorations so that it's not boring.
And I'm definitely more of the YOLO. Let's do something fun, and if we regret it, we'll just fix it another time.
Yeah, you're gonna regret having said YOLO on film.
It's okay.
When we started this project and we were trying to design how the two different floors were gonna look, And initially we actually had the idea to just design each floor completely different. I would take a floor, Kate would take a floor. In thinking of that more and more, that just seemed like a very involved way to go. So that's why we chose just to do the kitchens. We kind of added our own personal flair to the kitchens. Everything else in the unit, the bathrooms are identical, the flooring's the same, paint colors are the same, but the kitchens fit well with those details, even though they're very different in a lot of ways.
And I'm glad that we had the chance to do this and we could each kind of be artistic in our own way.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
So you've seen both kitchens. Let us know which one you prefer. Do you like the gray kitchen upstairs that I designed or the black and white kitchen that Kate designed? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Thanks for joining us on Love Where You Live with Mint Construction.